5 questions to ask before spending your hard-earned money. It's a biting economy, and in one of the earlier videos, I shared 5 ways for you to prosper in difficult times in a hostile economy. So if you haven't watched that video, you would do well to look for the video and watch it over and over again until you have enough resource and strength to push through whatever opposition you might be facing right now. In this video, I want to share with you 5 questions you should ask that will help you make the most of the money you have, so that after a big breakthrough, you don't end up having little or nothing to show for it. At the beginning of every year, we have amazing goals that we intend to accomplish in our lives. For some of us, it's winning a soul every week. For others, it's giving tens of millions of naira towards a favorite charity or ministry or church. But for every true believer, one of the things that we always want to do every year is to grow deeper in our relationship with God. We want to read more of the Bible, we want to pray more consistently, we want to fast more sincerely, and we want to get to know God more. But somewhere along the line, life happens. There are bills to pay, there are targets to meet, there are relationships to build. And before we know it, we stop reading the Bible as often as we used to. We stop spending time with God, we get distracted and caught up. If you're in that place right now, I'm not condemning you, and I don't want you to be discouraged. I've got an amazing resource for you. This is why I'm happy to present to you copies of my brand new book called Refresh. In this amazing book, you're going to learn how to rediscover and how to relish and enjoy the pleasure of God's presence. It's a 21-day devotional that has lots of powerful content. It has premium material. In this, you will learn the basics of prayer, of waiting on God, of intercession, of reading the Bible, of meditating consistently, so that the Word of God is not like something you're reading from a textbook, but it really transforms your life. And one of the things I really love about it, which many of people who've read the book love about it, is that you have places for you to write out what you're going to do with what you've learned. There are also Bible passages that will help you reinforce all the core concepts in the pages of this book. So I wanted to place your order right now. It's going to change your life forever. It's time for you to refresh your walk with God and to grow deeper in the things of the Spirit. Refresh. My name is Damilola Oluwatoyinbo. I'm the pastor of Kings, and in this series of videos, I'm sharing 5 things that can be of help to you. One of the things I wanted to do right now is to like this video, post a comment beneath it, subscribe to this channel so you don't get to miss out on any of the amazing things I will be sharing going forward. Are you ready for the 5 to thrive? Let's go. Number 1, ask yourself, how did this money come? You know, many times people say, I don't have any money, nobody has helped me, I don't know what to do. But you see, everybody, every adult who has ever made a purchase before had money somehow. Find out what is the source of income, or what are the source of income I currently have. The other day I sat with someone who's a prodigy, and I said, what's the highest amount of money you've ever earned? And she told me, oh, this amount. And I said, what are your current income sources? And said, oh, only this, you know, my job, my salary. And I said, okay, has an uncle ever given you money? I said, yes. Has a sister ever given you money? Oh, yes. Have you ever gone to a place and someone just like and give you money? Say yes. So I said, these are all sources of income. So, oh, I didn't know. And you're possibly making that mistake as well. Calculate all your sources of income and ask, how did the money come? Why is this important? Because to help you know whether it came through favor, through labor, or a combination of both. And regardless of how it came, to help you to attribute value to it. So for example, if somebody stumbles on $10,000, you see, the person doesn't really know the value of the $10,000. The person can just take that money, spend it anyhow, because they don't have comprehensive understanding of how to assess the value of that amount of money. However, if somebody got $10,000 as their gratuity, was their retirement gift at the age of 65, I hope you know that the value that that person who's 65 and got the gratuities of $10,000, the value the person places on that $10,000 will be so much greater than the value that maybe a driver, a bus conductor, somebody down the street found in a car or around the street. So where did you get this money from? How did it come? Did it come through trade? Did you sell something? Did you buy something? Did you give something? Did it come as a result of you trusting God for something, and by an act of divine favor you got resources? You need to ask. The reason a lot of people waste resources is that they don't take out time to attribute commensurate value with the money they currently have. So ask that question, 1. Number 2, ask ask yourself the question, what is the best use of this amount of money? Now, there are two kinds of monies you will have. You can use this terminology: seed fund and bread fund. What is seed fund? Seed fund, the word says that God gives seed to the sower and bread to the eater. Seed is what you can plant into something to reproduce after its kind. So ask yourself, is this seed or is this bread? Now, what is seed? Let's say you got $20,000 and you're like, oh wow, I could get a designer bag, I could get a designer purse. That's one way to do it. That's bread. That might not even be bread, that might be puff or something like that, because you're trying to puff yourself up, right? But if you take that $20,000 and say, oh wow, the average startup in the SME space started with less than $10,000, and you say, oh wow, I have twice as much of the original seed fund that they have. Guess what's going to happen? You will use that money differently. If you label your seed as bread, you will eat your future. If you label your bread as seed, you will not live long enough to see your future. I hope you get the point. Bread is what you eat to survive, to stay alive for another day, to be able to see bright opportunities. So there's some amounts of money that come to your life and they're bread. You're supposed to buy clothes, you're supposed to buy shoes, you're supposed to maybe buy a car, you get a cab, travel abroad, vacation, that's bread. But seed is, boom, the future. Investing, maybe in stock, in bonds, and annuities, things that will yield dividends, right? You want to look at that. Number 3, ask yourself, is this the best thing to do with money and the best place to put the money? So there are some monies that should not be in your bank account. Because if you live in a country like Nigeria, where there's a lot of inflation, where there's a lot of unpredictability and instability in the socioeconomic space, where you can actually go to buy something in the morning and it's say 5,000 naira, and in the evening they tell you it's 6,500 naira. If you live in that kind of place, the more money you have access to, the faster you're going to deplete your resources, the more you're going to spend. So what you want to do is not to deplete those resources. What you want to do is to invest the resources. So what do you keep in your account? The amount of money you need to run your life for a few months, maybe 2-3 months, and then the rest of that, boom, should be in assets. Some assets that you can easily liquidate, and some assets that you cannot liquidate for a long time. So part of what I've done in my life over time is that I get money and I've seen my financial cycle. Then I also then commit to projects and investments. So for example, I could commit to buying land. And the reason I'm committed to buying the land is not because I have all the money for the land, one. And sometimes I actually do have all the money for the land, but I don't want to put it there because I'm trying to build a pattern, discipline. So I can say, I'm going to pay for that land for 6 months. So I know every month I'm transferring 500,000 naira, 700,000, a million naira, 2 million naira. Why? Because the discipline and the consistency of putting money aside will save your life or your legacy as you begin to grow. So think about it. Is this the best place to put it? Because if you put your money in the account many times, the rate of inflation is outrunning the rate of interest on that account. So I believe in Nigeria right now, you get maybe interest of about maybe 4.5%. Is it up to that? I'm not sure. On your savings account, right? But inflation is over 30%, around 30% on paper. In some cases, over more than 30%, right? So that means that if you put your money in the bank in January, by December, you've already lost a lot of it in actual value. So that's the third thing. Number 4, you want to ask yourself the question, what can I use to replace what I'm trying to spend this money on? Let me give you an example. Let's say everybody's buying a Mac computer, and I love Mac computers. I've used them for over 10 years now, and they're really amazing. In fact, once you go Mac, you can't go back. I have a producer friend who was like, oh, you Mac people, you're always talking about Mac and all of that. And then one of those days, his Windows computer had an issue, and then he decided to get on the Mac side of things, on the Mac track. Hey, come on. Apple should employ me. Let me be giving you lines. The Mac track. Let's put you on the Mac track. On the Mac track. Come on now. The Mac track on the back track. The black track. But boy, it won't rhyme. Oh, don't get me started. Ayo, ayo. We'll put you on the Anyway, so he got on the Mac, says on the Mac, he said, I now understand why people talk about the Mac. So let's say everybody's talking about the Mac, very excited about that. And you think to yourself, oh, but I have a Windows computer that is still functional. Or maybe you say to yourself, I have a Windows computer, but I also have an iPad. Basically what I'm saying is, Are there things in your life that can still meet that need instead of you spend a lot of money? Now I spoke about paying for things in installments before earlier, and one of the reasons why I also do that is so I can invest part of my money in other things instead of tying all my money in a consumer product. So what else can you do with that amount of money? Number 5, people hardly do this one, but it still works in certain circles. Consider barter. What is barter? Exchanging value for value. So many times people say, I need money, I need money, I need money. Don't get stuck on money. Get stuck on value. Sometimes you might not have the money, but you might have the skills. You can exchange your skills for the product. Now, you're very familiar with the brand ambassadorship. So there's a whole endorsement movement, influencer movement in Nigeria right now. It's been in America for thousands of years, for many years. But now in Nigeria, you find somebody who has a following of 10,000 people, a community of 20,000 people, a group of 1 million persons, and a brand says, hey, we want to give you our camera or our wristwatch or our makeup set or eyewear, fashion set. Why are they doing that? Because they see the value in the community that if this influencer wears the outfit, then 50,000 people get to see the outfit who may not have seen it before, or who may have seen it before but didn't like it because it was not being presented by somebody that they did like. So you have value. It could be your face, your nice smile. Can you model for somebody and then get the photo shoot for free, or get some other service they do for free, right? And I'm not talking about sex services, right? I'm talking about real, actual service. Right? So think about the value containers or conduits in your life. I don't have money, but you have time. Can you intern with somebody? Can you support somebody? Can you partner with somebody? Can you go on sets with somebody? Can you invest for somebody? Can you do babysit someone? Can you handle a daycare for someone? Can you drive somebody? Can you be somebody's PA? Find the areas of value in your life. At the beginning of every year, we have amazing goals that we intend to accomplish in our lives. For some of us, it's winning a soul every week. For others, it's giving tens of millions of naira towards a favorite charity or ministry or church. But for every true believer, one of the things that we always want to do every year is to grow deeper in our relationship with God. We want to read more of the Bible, we want to pray more consistently, we want to fast more sincerely, and we want to get to know God more. But somewhere along the line, life happens. There are bills to pay, there are targets to meet, there are relationships to build. And before we know it, we stop reading the Bible as often as we used to. We stop spending time with God, we get distracted and caught up. If you're in that place right now, I'm not condemning you, and I don't want you to be discouraged. I've got an amazing resource for you. This is why I'm happy to present to you copies of my brand new book called Refresh. In this amazing book, you're going to learn how to rediscover and how to relish and enjoy the pleasure of God's presence. It's a 21-day devotional that has lots of powerful content. It has premium material. In this, you will learn the basics of prayer, of waiting on God, of intercession, of reading the Bible, of meditating consistently, so that the Word of God is not like something you're reading from a textbook, but it really transforms your life. And one of the things I really love about it, which many other people who have read the book love about it, is that you have places for you to write out what you're going to do with what you've learned. There are also Bible passages that will help you reinforce all the core concepts in the pages of this book. So I wanted to place your order right now. It's going to change your life forever. It's time for you to refresh your walk with God and to grow deeper in the things of the Spirit. Refresh. Boom, bonus point. I love to give you extra. So the bonus point for today is this: wait a little while. Before you make any transaction, before you buy anything, can you pause? Because many times we are driven by our emotions. We're emotional creatures. And so what happens is, once you begin to salivate over the food or drool over the meal, or your eyes are popping over the Bugatti or the Bentley, come on now. What happens is you'll be like, let me buy it now. You want to commit immediately. But I'm sure that, like me, you have bought things in your life before that you didn't get to use, or you didn't get to maximize the value of, or you just didn't appreciate. It could be a book, it could be a phone, it could be something that you didn't quite maximize. And that's because more likely you were in a hurry to buy it. You were in a hurry to pay for it. And eventually you discover that maybe if I had waited, I would have changed my mind. So don't be in a hurry to buy. Wait, think, pray, reflect, weigh, right? Once you're able to get this right at some point in your life, your dividends will start paying for the things that you want to buy. Now, the word says, cast your bread upon the waters, and after many days, you will find it. It said, give a portion to 7, yes to 8, for you do not know what adversity will come upon the earth. The point there is that patience often pays. Patience often pays. In Yoruba language, it's called Surulere, which is the name of a place in Lagos, but it means that patience has dividends. If you're able to pause and ponder, you might eventually be able to pay without having to be in pain. You get what I'm saying? All right, just like I got something here, do let me know which of the points stood out for you. Let me know in the comments right now. Drop a comment. Don't run away. Drop a comment before you go. Subscribe to this, watch other videos, and just, let's grow together and tell somebody about this. Let people know that I'm mentoring them for free every week on this channel. Let them plug in, dive into the wisdom, drink deeply from it, and be transformed by it. Until the next video, keep on thriving, and I'll see you sometime soon.